Hey mama, welcome back to another episode of the Mommy and Then Some podcast. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about what stay-at-home motherhood looks like for you. Let's get right into the episode. Let's start with the idea that I thought that I would have as a stay-at-home mom, what I would look like, right? So before I actually had my son and before I became a stay-at-home mom, I thought that I would do all the things. DIY activities. I'm not really good at DIY like creativity myself, so I'm good at looking it up though. But I would look up a lot of DIY activities and things for me and my son to do. I had the idea that I would be one of those mothers or women that created all of our meals and our snacks from scratch and just preparing every fresh fruit and vegetable. What else? I thought that I would have like this down pat cleaning schedule where these days I would just clean here and there. I also thought, because of the woman that I was, I used to want to wake up with my child, and I did, don't get me wrong, but I wanted to be able to wake up when my child woke up and still be able to do all the things that came with motherhood, taking care of house and home, taking care of my relationship, taking care of myself. That was my idea as well. I thought that I would have that spouse, he would go to work in the morning and then come back home and we would have dinner together as a family and enjoy, dinner time together. Listen. That was the idea that I had. And I don't want to lie to you and say that I don't know why that was my idea. I feel like a part of it was some of the examples that I had. So let's start off with some of the realistic examples that I had. For instance, my grandmothers, both my grandmothers, maternal and paternal, they were like, I guess you can call them stay-at-home moms or moms that worked from home. My maternal grandmother, she was a daycare provider, so we were with her a lot. Or me and my, cousins were with her a lot. And she did those things. I mean, of course, from time to time, it wasn't a lot, but she would get us fast food. But most of the time she was cooking me and what at the time, so it was my cousins, and so maybe about four of us. And then of course, as more little cousins came along and other daycare kids, she would cater to us, making all of us our favorite meals that we would want to eat. She is very creative, so she would come up with different, like, paper mache and different activities for us to do. And I kind of always looked up to that, like, wow, like, oh, she doing the darn thing. Like, she really putting in some work for us, for real. And as far as my paternal grandmother, again, kind of the same, where it was mostly just, me. And then I had another cousin that would be there from time to time as well. And she would do the same, mostly homemade meals from scratch. She was an entrepreneur, so she sold, I think she still does Avon here and there, but she sold Avon and I would help her with that. And, just some of these ideas that I had growing up, it would make me feel like, okay, yeah, when I get older, this is what I'm going to do too. I guess being in my young self, you don't really realize what goes in behind that. So I can't wait, for us to be able to talk to them to see what maybe their regimens or how they have their systems in place so that could be possible. But as a new mom and a new stay-at-home mom, I could care less about some systems. I wasn't thinking straight. I wasn't, I went through postpartum really bad with my son. So a lot of the things I didn't know where to start. I didn't know where to start. And just a little bit of a backstory about me. I moved to Florida, with my spouse in 2020. And then the month after we moved here, COVID hit. So, and literally that same month, I found out I was pregnant. So things were kind of moving really fast. And again, I just kind of felt like I guess you could say I kind of felt like I was drowning with a new baby. I'm very family oriented, so all of my family is up north. I just didn't know where to go. I was just like, wow, like I'm trying to hang on to this idea of what I think stay-at-home moms should do, and it's not work. Like, I don't know, am I being a good mom? A stay-at-home mom, like, duh, I'm supposed to stay at home, so why isn't the kitchen cleaned or dinner cooked or a fresh homemade meal, or why am I musty because I haven't taken a shower, because I'm trying to learn how to juggle all of these things, right? And another one of my examples was social media. And unfortunately, I'm going to tell you all now that we have to get out of that mode of looking at social media as something that we quote unquote aspire to be. People on social media show you what they want to show you. And it took me a long time to realize that. And even still now to this day, I have to remind myself of that. A lot of people show you the end result of what they've achieved. And they don't really show you the hard work that goes into it. They don't really show you maybe the relationships that have crashed, themselves crashing and having to go through that work of maybe whatever they have to do, therapy, meds, whatever it is, to be able to recover from that life. So a lot of the stay-at-home moms that I've seen, yeah, they would be number one making content. And I'm like, wow, like how the heck are you making content and still being able to do this, and that? When I'm not realizing maybe they might have a helping hand. Maybe their spouse is a little more hands-on when and where they can be. Or maybe they do have hired outside help. Or maybe they do have their family with them. There are a lot of different factors that I can't take that on and say, oh, well, how come this isn't working for me? Because I see this happening on social media. So a lot of that fairy tale, grandiose idea that I had when it came to stay-at-home motherhood from social media, I'm gonna just you got to cut that out now. I feel like there's nothing wrong with, how do I say it? You can have goals, but I feel like kind of make sure they're the right goals. And I don't want to say that you have to look at some of your favorite content creators and say, oh, well, let me, try to see through them and see all the negativity and all the bad things that they've gone through. No, not at all. But I just want you to keep in mind that they're showing you what they want to show you. They're showing you the end result of what that stay-at-home motherhood looks like. I would say lean towards the people that you may hear saying a lot of the times that it was hard for me. And I'm saying to you right now that it was hard for me. And honestly, still to this day, it is hard for me, especially with 2 children. So I can only imagine, and I send all my love and I see you, I hear you to the moms that have more than 2 children. I know it's not easy. And I hate that social media makes it look easy. So I just want to know, I want to tell me, drop in the comments, leave, you can email me, tell me more about how stay-at-home motherhood looks for you and maybe what you have thought it should have been in the beginning and maybe why it was different. I let you mamas know a little bit of my story as to why I may have thought that I could have done things one way, but it really didn't turn out like that for me and my household. And that's okay. From me to you, I promise you, whatever you do is working. And I love the saying that, a lot of the good moms wonder if they're good moms. A lot of the bad moms don't wonder that. So if you're wondering if you're a good mom, if you're making sure your kids are getting fed and, their nutrition is A1, even though they're surviving off, crackers and cheese, like most of our kids do, you are an awesome mom. You're a great mom. And again, stop looking at social media. Stop looking at your neighbor next door. Of course, take tips and tricks and here and there, take things that people say with a grain of salt, but do what works for you. Again, thank you, Mama, for tuning in to the Mommy and Then Some podcast. Much love. I want you to make sure that you understand that you are seen, heard, and loved. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.